Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. And I know this title might sound very aggressive, but I don't mean to make anyone feel bad, come down on anyone. But it is true that in my experience in making any sort of political, politically affiliated videos on YouTube, Europeans step way out of the bounds of what's reasonable and decent in conversation. I don't know if it's maybe some anecdotal experiences or the general stereotype of Americans being all about America and thinking we're the best country in the world. I don't know what it is, but Europeans seem to come with this, and I should qualify, some Europeans come with this this aggression. First of all, just being rude, being mean, name calling as if it's elementary school, not having good faith discussions, but maybe more than anything, they seem to speak as if all Americans across the board think America is perfect, which is so unbelievably delusional and ignorant. It's bizarre. It makes me think, wow, a good chunk of Americans are descendants of Europeans. I don't know how it can be so backwards. I suppose shouldn't say backwards. I don't know how it could be so messed up and just honestly seeming very stupid. Every population has a good amount of unintelligent people, so maybe I'm only getting the comments from people who are not very intelligent. But if you want to come in and criticize America, and I'm all for that. Believe me, that's kind of what I'm getting to. Americans, far more than anyone else, are critical of America in general. If you bring up anything with the government in America, it's going to be critical. It's vast majority of the time, it's going to be critical, saying negative things. And Americans, if you watch the news in America, if you listen to things, you'll see that just last year, part of Seattle was taken over by a group of people randomly because they thought that it was so bad in America that they wanted to start over and make their own government. And then they tried to do that in other cities. It didn't really work, and it also collapsed soon afterwards. But that's pretty aggressive in terms of how bad you must think it is in America. So that's just one example. Californians sometimes talk about, especially when Trump became president, leaving and making their own country. And, people are constantly clamoring for better healthcare, higher wages, particularly minimum wage. What was the last thing? Oh, and for forgiving student debts and many other things. But, I don't know if some Europeans seem to be so into American politics, and they seem to have certain pieces of information, but they seem to ignore how insanely aggressive the politics are here, and Americans are constantly being bombarded with this. We know how bad it is. We live here. You don't have to tell us, you don't have to shove our face into a bunch of crap to have us see that it's crap. We know. We get it. And just because we say one good thing or a few good things or our opinion about what is good in America doesn't mean that we think America is perfect and the best ever. I do understand, as I said before, there is this stereotype of Americans thinking we're the greatest country in the world, and nobody comes close, and we're perfect or whatever. But that's, a stereotype, and stereotypes do come about from things that are often in general true, but this is more of a true, would have been a much more true in sort of the 1960s. I mean, far before I was born. I'd say ever since around then, and even then there was there's a lot of hippies that were against a lot of things in the government and war and things like this. And that's gone much, much more extreme now. So, Americans are often very happy and supportive of, our sports teams and the Olympics and things like this. But to me, that's the only thing I see remaining in terms of like really aggressive, America, we're the best type of attitude. And I think most people, I don't like it when people are obnoxious in these sort of sense. So I don't support that. I support being really happy and supporting your whatever you like and cheering on people. But I don't support being a jackass. So anyway, you can see I'm a little worked up about it just because there's so many ignorant people, and maybe I should just flat out ignore them. I love it when Europeans bring me something new. There was a Norwegian person, and I love Norwegians. I think Norway is the best country in the world. There, I said it, I'm American, and I think America is not the best country in the world. I think Norway is, at least on paper. I have not visited, but I would like to, and I am Norwegian American. But a Norwegian person gave me some detailed information about their country. They show me facts. They show me, they tell me things that they've experienced, and I'm overjoyed to hear it. That's what I love. I love different countries, and I love hearing different people's opinions and analyzing things, and this is wonderful, fantastic. Please, more of these people who are just decent, have good faith conversations, tell me facts, tell me interesting things, tell me how they see the world, their perspective. More of that, please. And he sent me this video that showed a lot of how, I wouldn't even explain it very good, I want to watch the video again, but sort of these unions or collective bargaining and how they work, they actually work to, how do I say it now? The leaders or the companies of different industries sort of talk amongst each other in terms of what wages they can reasonably give to workers, and if they can't, then they eliminate that job if it's something with automation. But they want to always keep the wages at quite high for each type of job, and they work together in different industries and different companies. And a Norwegian person could say much better. I can put the link in the description or to this video. I thought it was fascinating, and I have to study more because I'm not explaining it very well. I don't even understand it very well yet, but it was really great to hear. And this is what I want to hear. Anybody who has this kind of information, these fact-based, things that they can prove are correct, wonderful. It may have been the problem that I had been reacting to some videos about America that were flawed, that they just were, and not everything was incorrect in the video, but some things. And so when I correct these things, people get livid and up in arms, and it's just bizarre. But I don't know. Trying to think of ways to remedy this so that I don't deal with crazy people anymore, or people who don't have good faith discussions. If you don't know what good faith is, try to look up Sam Harris, good faith, or good faith discussion, and you could probably find him talking about basically just having the state of mind of, I'm trying to figure out what the best thing is, I'm trying to figure out the facts, and I'm trusting that you are trying to figure out the facts and trying to get the correct information, the best solutions. And we may process things differently, we may disagree, but there's no need to name call and be rude and arrogant and talk down and be demeaning. I've noticed that a German person told me that this is just how they talk, which is, I have a hard time to believing that that's considered okay. But if it is, okay, that's their culture. I don't think it's right. I think you can have a culture that's not very friendly and that not be very nice and good. But if you're speaking in English, generally, I can say for America, and I think in England too, to try to be polite. To try to not name call like a child. It's very, yeah, it's not, you sound not intelligent and you sound immature when you name call. I'm not calling anyone specifically those things, but just saying how it is. So, I guess I've said all I could say is just try to be a decent person. You know, I'm trying to listen to people, trying to hear them out. But I do know that, yeah, people who are not really facing the truth and not very mature or developed. They could even be a very old person, but they just never have gone down that path of trying to confront their own errors in belief. And they often then accuse others of doing so when they're doing that. And possibly could gaslight in the process. So, yeah, when people are accusing me of, being ignorant or not facing the facts or just believing what everyone else says, that's usually a telltale sign that that's what they're doing, and just because you're not going in line with whatever they believe, they accuse you of doing what they, in fact, are doing. So anyway, well, try to end on a positive note. I want to see fact-based things, or personal experiences can be good too, but just presented in a kind way. I'm all about it. So thank you for everyone who does that sort of thing. And if you just giving your own analysis, if it's your own opinion, even if you don't have facts, if you state it as your opinion, I'm all for that too. As long as you don't state stuff that's opinion as fact. If you don't back things up. But if you back things up, if you're just a decent person, I want to hear you out, at least. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. Love ya.